Hi everybody, so today we're going to be focusing on something called sketching. Now, sketching is probably one of the most important tools you can have as a designer because, as they say, a picture tells 1,000 words, and especially in design, it's hard to describe something. It's always much easier to draw and visualize it. And it's really, really important as well that you have confidence when you're sketching, okay? Now, before we get started, what I want to make the point of is that design sketching is very different from the type of sketching you might do in art where you're trying to perfect something. Design sketching is a thought process. It's a rough sketch. Sketches are raw. They're never finalised and polished off really, so they're quite rough in kind of presentation. So if anybody's sitting there thinking I'm rubbish at drawing, you are not, okay? You're going to get shown the tools you need to be able to visualise your designs, and you just really need to have confidence in yourself, okay? So what I'm going to start off with is a bit of a warm-up, and this is probably going to be quite good for me because I have been on maternity leave, so I've not been doing that much sketching as I usually do when I'm at school. So we're just going to talk about the very basic principles. So holding your pencil, okay? Now, when you're holding your pencil, a lot of people, when they are sketching, will move their wrist, okay? So if you move your wrist like this, you get a curve, okay? So when people aim to then do a line, they end up with lots of curves like this, okay? Now, those are what we call hairy lines. Those types of lines draw your eye away from any kind of features in the product or thing that you're designing. They make it look quite clunky. So the types of lines we're going to be drawing are very straight and continuous and flowing. And the way we do that is we don't move the wrist, we move the entire arm, almost in quite a mechanical way, like this. So it's a really good warm-up, like if you were doing exercise, to actually just practice lines. And that is something I would tell a first year, it's something I would tell a sixth year, and it's something that I learned in my university years at the beginning of every term, and a warm-up of sketching just these continuous lines, okay? You'll notice I'm using a pen. You could be using absolutely anything you want, and I'm using some printer paper, but you could use anything you want. I've got a lined notepad here, for instance. That would be absolutely fine. Anything you can get your hands on, really. Some of the best designs were designed on the back of receipts and envelopes and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I think a good warm-up would be just lots of straight lines like this. Now, another thing you might notice is that I've turned the paper so that it's at an angle. Now, that angle is appropriate for me. I find it easier doing lines at this angle for some reason, don't know why, okay? You might find it easier doing them straight up. You might find it easier doing them like this. It's completely up to you. You find something that you are comfortable with, okay? Once we've mastered that, then we'll go on to the next stage. So what I want you to do is the piece of paper you've got, or the notebook you've got, or whatever you have in front of you, it doesn't matter. I want you to fold it or split it or draw lines so that there's 4 different sections. Now, this is going to be a reference for you throughout your sketching in the year. So it's a good thing to keep and reflect back on. And again, total Billy Basics here. You're probably going to be sitting there thinking, what is the point in all of this? But there is a point. So I'll get rid of that stuff there. So first section, what we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on doing some light lines. As light as you possibly can. Now, it's a bit of an art to doing it with a fine liner or a biro, but with practice you'll get there. With a pencil it's probably slightly easier, but just placing it very lightly on the page. Now, I've got this part of my hand is sitting flat on the page so that I'm able to just glide along. Again, notice that I've got my paper at an angle. And I'm going to do some nice light lines, moving my full arm in quite a mechanical fashion, and I'm just going to keep doing them as light as you can, okay? Okay, nice and light, okay? So in this section, light lines, okay? Now these are really important for when you're constructing something in design, because like I say, while your designs evolve, they change, and if you use light lines, it's easy to edit things, and you'll see this in my next videos. Okay, so the next section, take a wee guess, we're going to do darker lines now. So same rules apply, moving the full hand and full arm, no wrist action, no hairy lines. We're going to go like this, okay? Okay, moving that full arm, and we'll put it down here, dark lines. Okay, people always ask why techie teachers write in capital letters, and I think for me, a wee explanation into that is probably because when you write in capitals, it's clearer. So you'll come to realise that you'll annotate your designs a lot. So it's up to you. You can do capitals, you can do, you know, lowercase, but I actually find it easier to write in capitals now since I've done it for so many years. So the next one, we're going to construct some boxes, okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to use your light lines first, and you're going to create some boxes. Now you'll notice I'm moving my paper each time to get it into a position where I can sketch my straight line, okay? Now you'll see some of my lines are light, other ones are slightly darker. That is absolutely fine, okay? Anything goes in this just now. You're practicing, you're learning. You can do this page again, but please don't get frustrated and crumple up your paper, okay? You really need to persevere, because it's just a sheet of paper, okay? I know people get caught up in perfectionism, but that is not what this is about, okay? We're building up skills here, so I'm going to do a couple more. Now you'll also notice that I'm crossing these over in the corners. Now the reason for that is because it means that I can get a really nice crisp corner on these boxes. If you don't, for instance, if I show you on this paper here, if I try to just draw a box straight off the bat, you'll notice here that we've got a bit of a curve in the corners, whereas if we do crossing over at the corners, we get a nice crisp finish there, okay? Okay, I'm going to do a couple more, maybe some smaller ones. And it's fine if you end up with some rectangles, that's totally fine. We're just looking at the skills of sketching that continuous straight line and making sure that our lines are light. That's what we're looking for in this section. So light lines and continuous straight, that technique with your arm, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to use your dark lines now, so this section here, and you're going to highlight 2 of the squares that you think are your best ones, okay? Using your dark lines, but this time what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you only go over the sections that are needed. So you're not actually going to use the little crosses at the edges, okay? And now you've really got that crisp corner on that there. I'm going to highlight this one as well, like so. And what this task is showing you is really the difference between the both. You stop noticing these kind of light lines as soon as the dark line is here, okay? So that's the difference. We've got light lines to construct and dark lines to highlight and show the kind of the clear and final edge, okay? Okay, moving on, next section. Guys, feel free, pause this video, reverse it, go back, keep practicing. You could take a full page for this section, each of the sections, it's totally up to you. We're just really trying to get these techniques to a good level. Oh, just to put a little label on here, we'll just put that as boxes. Okay, this time we are going to do some circles, okay? Now this is something that does take a wee bit more practice for some people. A lot of people end up with ellipses, but I want you to really concentrate on this one, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm hovering my hand over the paper and I'm making contact with the side of it, and my pen isn't touching the paper yet, but I'm just kind of watching it go round and my eyes following roughly where that pen is. Now I'm going to do some light lines here and I'm going to make some contact like so, and I'm going to do it here and here and here. Notice how I keep not making any contact to begin with and then commit to the page. Okay, and you also notice that we've got quite a few lines here, but that's fine, that's what we want. It's important that you practice that. If you look at one, for instance, if you look at this one here and it's more of an ellipse, take a look at that one and say, how can I improve that? How can I make that one better? Okay, I need to be moving more upward. Okay, so look at the last one you've sketched and think, how can I make that better? That's always a really good way to improve your sketching. Okay, remember, no frustration, just confidence. It's just a piece of paper and these are just sketches. So what you're going to do again is you're going to pick your kind of best ones that you think you've got there, and you've got quite a few lines here. You're going to do dark lines around an outline. Just pick the best line of travel for your pen. Okay, so I'm going to go for this one. Now remember, when you are doing your circles and you're just doing your light lines, still using that same technique. You're not moving the wrist, you're moving the whole arm. Okay, you're moving your shoulder, you're moving the whole thing. Okay, that's really, really important. I can't stress that enough. It's really good to practice it. And as I said, this is great for me just now because I've just finished my maternity leave and I've really not been doing as much sketching as I could have been doing. See how in this one I've corrected that one just a little bit there, and you don't notice these light lines. So there we have it. These are some of the really basic but very, very, very important skills of design sketching. We've got our light lines, we've got our dark lines, we've got our constructing shapes, okay, using the construction lines as light lines and our kind of clear outlines as dark lines, and then that kind of gets into the rhythm of doing some circles. So it's really useful to practice this and just get yourself into the kind of flow, get yourself into the zone. Like I say, design sketching is different because we give you specific techniques that can help you, and it's really, really useful for you communicating your designs. When we get to the big design projects in the course, we don't want you to have low confidence when you're trying to sketch your designs. We want you to be confident with it, okay? Because that can be a barrier sometimes to getting your designs on paper. So please, please go away, practice this, stop the video, reverse it, skip bits if you think I've been waffling too much. But I hope you enjoy it, and remember, use anything you've got, okay? It does not matter at all.